Everyone, now in a previous video we did the cover of the Johanna Basford planner in pencil and it didn't really show up, and I said I think Posca Pens might show up better. So here we go. I brought my Posca pen collection through to my recording room and we're going to have a go. Now these aren't every colour of Posca pen you can get, and they aren't every PC1MR colour that you can get either. They're only PC1MR, it's the only nib size that I like, which is the sort of pointy, very fine nib that's come in so you can see the pen and the page. There we go, let's put it under the, oops, there, so you can see it. So we're going to start with this one, it's the gold. So let's put that down there, let's get it running out. There we go. Now there are metallic colours, I don't have many of those. I've run some of them out. We're just going to play around with what I've got. This is the metallic pink. Okay, I haven't used this for ages. I think shaking it out might be a good idea. They have like a little ball bearing inside which shakes up the paint. So that's interesting. Oh, it's coming. Now some of them are darker colours than others, and I think the lighter colours will probably work better. But we'll see how it goes. Because they're not transparent, they should sit on top of the black well. But some of the black might show through if I'm not very good at colouring it all. Usually a new Posca pen will cover really well once you've shaken it and activated it. I have got a video on how to activate them if you're not sure. If you've got some you think this isn't working, there is a technique. Okay, so there's metallic pink. Right, what should we go for next? This is the pink. To me this is so neon. But it's just called pink. Ooh, sorry. And we'll use it here now. Posca will cover everything. So if I go over this white dot, it will just vanish forever. But that's what I'm going to do because we need to see colour. Now you can see that it probably need a few coats because it's sort of soaking in a little bit, and you can still see some of the black. It's probably my fault where I'm not colouring it that neatly, but to be honest, I'm not that worried. I probably won't go over it again. Now with Posca, if you've missed a bit and try and go over it again, you might find that you just end up picking up the paint in the area where you've been colouring. So you sometimes need to have to wait for it to fully dry before you can go back over it, which is a little bit irritating. But it's just the nature of the beast, as it were. I don't know if that's a saying you all might know. It's a funny saying, isn't it? Now also Posca takes a while to dry, so keep your hand out of it or else you'll end up smudging it all over your page. Now the good thing with Posca is it covers itself, so if I accidentally splodge a bit of pink pen in the wrong place on this page, I'll be able to go back over it with a different colour if I want to. So that's always good. These are showing up a lot better, but you sort of would expect that of a pen compared to a pencil anyway. I mean, it's not necessarily a fair comparison to compare a pen and a pencil. Yeah, they're very different. So I've got to decide where to go next. Now Posca have fairly recently brought out more of their PC1MR size pens in different colours, and there's a sort of pastel set which I bought, I think, well, sometime last year. I did a little review video of those where I tried them out on a bookmark, I think it was, and so you can have a look at that if you want a bit more info. But that's that. What should we do in the middle of there? See, I've got this. I don't think it's, this is the purple. Oops, I'm not thinking this is going to show up. It's actually called a violet, but we'll try it in there. See, it's dark. I think we'll put it in anyway because it's not black, so it's going to look slightly different. And it's got that white outline and then the pink, so it may just show up a little bit. We'll see. See what it's like as it dries and how it all comes together. Okay, now around the edge of there, oh, we've got a much lighter purple. This is called lavender. I'm trying to shake it up. The ball bearing was stuck, or I hadn't used it for so long. Do need to be careful. They can be slightly splatty. I have recently someone was showing me, or saying they had a disaster with one. What I've noticed is sometimes people pump the nib on the page. You don't want to do that. You get a huge splodge and then you have to try and spread it or blot it. If you want to pump the nib, which is the way to get it started, and often you might need to do it while you're using it, do it on a scrap piece of paper, just some old paper that you don't need to worry about, somewhere, an old notepad or something like that. I've usually got a pad next to me where I'm noting down what pages I've coloured for my completed pages video, or like on this video I'll note down what I've done and I use that. Let's use this real pale pink. This is light pink. It's nice, this one. Shake, shake, shake. Now, on this next bit we've got a big area which I'm not going to colour. Those dots I might do. I might just do the dots in white like I did last time I did this page. When I did it with pencil, I actually used white Posca dots to show you how the Posca would look. So we use a white, get through these whites a lot. They're very useful. My only problem with them is they're not bleed proof, which means that if you've got a colour underneath, it can seep in to the white or to any other colour. There are only a few colours that do that though, not every pencil, and only certain brands. So what I do is when I swatch my pencils, I always put a little dot of white on my swatch, and then I can see which ones will bleed. Staedtler don't, polychromos don't, but other brands do. Okay, we've now got these florals. Let's use the yellow. This is the sunshine yellow. I'm going to try and shake it. There we go. And we'll do these bits. I'm just going to go right over that white because this is quite see-through. They're not always very see-through. I think this is just a bit thin. Sometimes the paint gets a bit thin if you haven't used it for a while and haven't shaken it out properly. So I think that is the problem there. You can't normally see through them. Okay, what colour should we do the petals? We've got a nice light blue. This is called Glacier Blue. I'm going to try and shake it. Okay, I'm going to do the whole petal. It will go right over the markings that are on it, but that's okay. And we'll do all the flowers the same. You can see how you need to be fairly thorough if you don't want any black to show through. And some of my colours are a little bit dark, but we'll try them out anyway. Now I often use these Poscas for backgrounds or for sort of dots and highlights and lowlights on pictures. I don't use them all the time. The white I probably use the most, followed by the yellow, because I sometimes use dots in the centre of flowers for like pollen. The other colours, I have to say, I haven't used loads, but shall be with this page. Yeah. There's also, I haven't got a black with me. I think I've used it up, but they do black, which is quite very useful if you want a black background, because these don't bleed through. Because of the type of paint it is, it doesn't bleed through the page. It doesn't crinkle it in the way that it does if you use water, like watercolour, because it doesn't sort of saturate the page. But if you are using well, even in the Johanna Basford book, if you do a big area of this, the page feels sort of heavy and stiff, and you do have to be very careful when you colour on the other side, because surprisingly the colour transfers to the next page, so you need to put a piece of paper behind it. It's not normally a problem for me, I tend to do that anyway. Now greens, we've only got these two. That one is, well, we've got an aqua green, it's not really a leaf green. So I've got a metallic and a dark green. I'm going to use this metallic green for these of you. Yeah, metallic green. The metallics are quite fun. I forgot I had them, so I didn't use them at Christmas. But you don't get a huge range. I'm trying to think. You get a red, which is quite pinky, as is often the case with metallic reds. You get the green, get a blue, I think you get a purple, gold and silver. I haven't got any silver left. I'm surprised I've got a gold. I think it was a replacement. What else did I get? Can't remember. Metallic green. Might have been a blue. Yeah, it's probably a blue. I don't have it. But maybe. You can find them all in the usual place, you know, Amazon. But I can also get them in my couple of local art shops, stock them as well. I think they're quite a popular pen to stock in various places. There we go, nearly there. Try not to put my hand on top of it, because it will go splodgy splodgy. I haven't tried gel pens, but I think some brands would be very vibrant and nice and work very well. The Sakura metallics, the jelly rolls, would probably work really well. All the way around the edge of here we've got a little line. Let's do the aqua. What's it called? Aqua green, that's right. Go all the way around. I don't know how different it is to that metallic. Oh, a fair bit. I prefer, a lot of people talk about nib size. You can get lots of different types of nib types and sizes. This is called a pin type. You get a bullet type, which is a rounded fibre tip type end, more like you would get on a felt tip pen, marker, that sort of thing. I don't have one in here. I've got something with that end on it, but I've got it in here to show you. Some people prefer those. For me, they're a little bit too big. Butterfly's body, blue. I don't have a grey or silver or anything ideally. That would be better, but you want to see the blue, I'm sure, anyway. So yes, so the and the other nibs have lots of different sizes. Now if you're doing a background and you've got a huge amount of space, then a big nib can obviously mean that it's a lot quicker. However, thinking about this butterfly, this is an apricot. However, if you want to get around a lot of little details, then you want a smaller nib. So some people get, if they just use the black, because some people just tend to use the blacks for background. So if you're just using the black, then they might get a black with different nib sizes. But I tend to just get the small ones because they work for both. It takes a little bit longer to fill an area with a smaller nib, but I don't mind really. Some people also put a layer of pencil underneath their Posca, and to be honest, I don't know why. I don't think it's necessary. They don't leak through any of the paper that I use, so I don't think it matters, but it's up to you. You can try different things. Always test a little bit in your book, because you know you're never quite sure. Although they, you know, I say they don't leak through, you just can't be sure, especially with the darker colours, the blacks, the navy, the dark green, that sort of thing. You can't be 100% sure, and you don't want to ruin your lovely books. So test a bit. If you don't have a colour test page in your book, then you should be able to find some other page at the back, a copyright page or something like that, that you can use. I'm going to do the rest of this butterfly in this orange. Look how bright that is. This is just called orange. I am going to, I'm not going to do all the butterflies now. I will do them. It's not now on camera. It's going to start taking too long. So try it a little bit first. It's worth it. It doesn't take long, and you might regret it if you don't. Right, where are we to next? We've got a few different colours left. Put those to the side because I need to do the other butterflies. We've got these florals. Let's do the middles in this yellow. This is the yellow. Okay, I'll just do one. Very bright yellow. There we go. Oh, hang on, missed that bit. Okay, and then I think I'm going to do the flowers in red. We've got this bright red. It's quite good for Christmassy things. This is quite good for writing Christmas cards, but it's a pain because you have to leave it to dry. It's quite striking, isn't it? That red does show up on the black. I wasn't sure. We'll just do this one flower. Then I'll do the a few leaves as well. I've got a few more colours left to test, so I'll do those, and then I shall finish it on my own and leave you with a picture of the completed page. There's a red one. Wow, that's bright, isn't it? This is the main green. This is quite dark as well. I've got two left, so I'll just show you those before we're done. But I definitely think that shows up a lot more compared to the I'm going to do both bits of the leaf in this colour compared to the pencil. But it's, as I say, it's a little bit of an unfair comparison because pen's always going to be brighter than pencil. That's just how it is. But I think it's quite useful just to see that comparison so you can decide what you're going to use. Now those little leaves to the right there, these, I'm going to do them in a different colour, but I don't know what yet. Probably one of the colours, probably the metallic green, because I don't really have anything else unless I do it in gold. Right, we have the metallic red here, and we have a blue. We use the metallic red here, I think. That I was going to do this in white, but I'll show you whether the metallics look metallic in a minute as well. So there's some metallic red. I shall use it for all these little blippy bits. And then the blue we'll use for these. So this is just called light blue. Okay. Oh, we'll do one here, a whole one, so you can see. I'll probably do the centres of these in the paler yellow colour. There we go, and probably the leaves in the metallic green, I'm not sure. So here it is. I'm just going to tip it to the light so you can see those metallics. Like in the centre, some of those are metallic, and that one's still wet actually. That metallic red is still wet, that's why it's shining so much. They're not mega shiny. There we go. So that's that. I'm going to finish it off and then leave with a photo at the end of the completed thing, so you can have a little think about how you think that worked. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.